All right, so kind of as all the instructors are fresh off and receiving a bunch of briefs, right? I'm going to reiterate this. And I think this is a pretty important piece. We talk about briefing, it's time management. All right. So the fastest brief that I've received so far, 30 minutes, 11 seconds.
Did they pass? Was it good?
I will say that they were good.
30 minutes.
All right. Going all the way up to the 45-minute mark. So understand this, guys. As you guys go up to the ITP final exam, 45 minutes to brief. Anything that you do not brief in that 45 minutes, the instructor won't cut you off, is considered an automatic no-go. Anything that you do not brief, the 45-minute time hack is considered an automatic no-go. All right. So why am I framing that? I'll tell you that 30 minutes, 11 seconds, the person who briefed you that gave you all 4 steps of IPB in full detail. And near perfect. Go. All right. So I have 100%, 99-ish. No, don't. All right, so if we're talking on a 100% scale, I'd say that individual will probably shoot at 99%. That is thorough, well put together notes. All right, that was time taken to handwrite their briefing script within that 16 hours. All right, so I'm going to emphasize that to you guys. Everything you guys will do in the IPP final exam will be handwritten. Check Raj. All right, you guys will be given that set of instructions again. Everything you do in the IPP final exam will be handwritten. All right, so I'm framing that for you because I'm telling you guys 45 minutes is enough time for you to execute your brief. All right, I will say the mean time, the average, is probably sitting around 38 to 39 minutes. Was about the average time that it took the current class to brief for IPP exams. Right? So, get that piece out of your system, you guys. I believe you guys will be fine. Right? I have faith in you. All right. You guys will be fine on that aspect. All right. Be thorough in how you guys execute your briefing on the exam. All right. So, you won't be able to work on any of this stuff at home, but we're going to give you enough time to get it done here. Hour. Here's my recommendation. The hour that I'm going to provide you before you do your actual brief. That is your time not to construct your entire brief. But that is your time to get yourself in order. I.e., make sure your notes and your script that you wrote in the exam is in order. So when you sit down, I expect you to power move the instructor, right? Drop my threat tests and drop my maps, and I'm standing right next to the instructor, and I'm briefing. And as you go, you're not fumbling through your stuff. Right, that is going to kill time. Time is valuable in this for you guys. Right, I promise you, you will know the scenario through and through after you got brain cancer or eye cancer from staring at it for 8 hours a day for 2 days straight. Right? Yes, sir.
I don't know if it's already got asked. Is there any way we can bring like a skeleton of a script into?
I will provide you everything that you're authorized to bring into the exam.
All right.
It'd be like one of those surprise bags. You give it a Halloween party, right? Show up.
Never did.
You open it.
It's like 2 days.
All right. Hey, I'm gonna tell you like a couple of kids. You get what you get. You don't throw fits. All right. They don't actually listen to that, but you will have to. You get paid more than they do. All right. But I will give you guys everything you guys need for success going to the exam. Nothing else outside of what I provide you for the exam is authorized. If there is something else, right, that is an automatic drop action for academic dishonesty. Right, so I'm emphasizing that because I don't believe you guys are going to do that, but I'm letting you know so we don't get the, oh, I didn't know that. I've got proof this time because Mr. Maldonado is recording.
If anybody wants a recording, bring a thumb drive and I'll give it to you because I'm pretty sure JR doesn't want this on YouTube or any like database.
Just don't sell for Russians. Yeah. All right. Hey, some good techniques. We talked through our terrain analysis. Macro to micro, picking and briefing technique. All right, so we talk about our terrain analysis. We talk about what factors. OCO, however you want to pronounce it, right? So 5 OCO factors. So when I say talking about macro, all the way back. All right. Is starting off, I know that you asked it Tuesday about significant things, right? So if there's anything that pops out, i.e. there's something that you don't think you're going to hit that's pretty significant when you go through your, let's say, avenue and depth piece, like if there's a significant terrain feature that does not fall within your avenue approach, it's probably highlighted as key terrain, so whoever controls or dominates that will probably have a domineering or decisive overmatch in the battle. Then I'm going to start at the macro, brief those things, and then I'm going to go micro, all right, by picking a method. All right, and what are the 3 types of methods that I want you guys to use? No, please don't use concentric ring, right? Concentric ring, for the purpose of that exam, is not going to get you on target. Right? I don't want you guys to be set up for failure. Did you see anything else besides that in the desk from what you saw?
I saw belts used relatively effectively. Avenue and depth is probably the best way to go. It's going to keep you on track. Belt can be used depending on the scenario, especially if it's kind of a linear either attack or defense kind of thing. You can walk from one baseline to the next. That can be effective depending on the individual scenario.
All right, so how are we going to execute it in a belt or avenue of depth? Obviously, when you're talking that macro to micro, you're probably going to start with the avenues of approach, right? It's probably going to sound something or look something like, here are our avenues of approach. Avenue approach 1 alpha, 1 bravo, 2 alpha, 2 bravo, whatever your numbering system is. Right? I don't care, none of the SGLs care about how you number it. As long as it makes sense, you don't tell me there's avenue approach 12 to avenue approach 36, and there's no rhyme or reason to how you got there. Don't be that silly. You say, hey, I have designated 3 avenues of approach for red, 3 avenues of approach for blue. Now I'm going to talk you through, in depth, in the avenue of depth, observation in fields of fire. All right, so when we talk observation in fields of fire, what are things we're looking for? Direct fire range. What else? Line of sight. Line of sight of what?
Vertical.
Horizontal.
Cover concealment.
Okay. Good. So what I'm saying that the enemy is going to be able to maneuver this restricted terrain. All right. The observation field of fire can be limited to half the distance for a max type of range of weapon system. We're getting specific. Right. That is what we're looking for. All right. Key terrain. What are we looking for in key terrain?
Why? What and why?
What and why, and what advantages it provides. All right. Everything you guys do in this brief, give us the so what and the why. So what and the why. Obstacles, 2 types. What are they?
Natural and natural.
Natural and man-made. Give me an example of a natural obstacle. River. So if there is hydrology that goes through that's going to stop mechanized forces from crossing it, and then covering concealment, we talked about that last time, vertical versus horizontal, and then following us through it. All right, make sure you guys remember to hit all of these. And again, it goes back to how are you establishing yourself time management wise to create your briefing notes in that 16 hours you keep doing the 2 days. It's a great thing. You guys already have the rubrics and test packets that are given to you. Give you guys something that looks just like this, right? Terrain effects matrix or the terrain description table. I think it's called the one we give you guys. Hey, if you're writing it out, because you will, the exam in 1 second. Then that's your narrative right there. All right, so as you guys go through, use that as your narrative. Sit next to the instructor or stand, pull it up, and you can go through it. Now, here's something that I don't want to see. And some people kind of got it. Won't necessarily no-go you for briefing off of a script and you just stand there very robotic-like. All right. But are you preparing yourself to brief a commander if you do that? So take the extra step, burn the extra time. All right. Okay. I'm telling you that there's an obstacle. Show the person that you're briefing the obstacle on the map. All right. So we show that you're showing us that you actually know what an obstacle is. So when you point an obstacle and you go, it's a road, you're like, how is that an obstacle? Right? And you tell me it's like I-35 in Texas and there's all this construction. I believe one of my Texas folks with that. All right, what was your question, Mr. Barris?
So for, let's say, Avenue Approach 1 and Avenue Approach 2, the only difference is the obstacle and covered with some. So when I go Avenue Approach 2, can I just brief those differences?
Yeah, so you can say Avenue Approach 1 and Avenue Approach 2 are similar. I'm going to brief you through everything that is similar in conjunction, the things that are different. We'll be, I promise you, there's enough instructors that have sat through enough that if you don't make it make sense, we'll know it right off the bat. All right? It's pretty hard to do. Any other questions in regard to track terrain and walking through the terrain analysis? All right. I recommended time when you guys are working on it. Right? If you're spending more than an hour on the coup, right, you're going to throw your time out on it. All right. Get in, highlight things that are going to be detrimental to the operation. Don't spend 3 hours drawing out hydrology. Okay? Everywhere in the world, 75% of the world is made up of hydrology. I don't need you to highlight the whole thing. Right? What else did you apply when you're thinking through terrain?
What's pertinent to us? So could we go and highlight what our AO is, and instead of doing the MICCC for the whole map, just kind of highlight and do the MICCC specific to our AO instead of wasting all that extra time
Yes.
doing it for the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. What else is applicable? What? Nope. No, that's it. So if we're talking terrain, we want to add in as an effect. Weather. All right. So when you think through hydrology, if we think through hydrology, what would be pertinent in the weather? Precipitation. So if it rains, we probably want to draw some of those more significant rivers and estuaries, right? The swamp's probably going to be a little bit more prevalent. But if it's like Sierra Vista between February and June, and we're looking at the San Pedro River cutting the road between here and Bisbee, probably not as significant, right? Dry out, we can cross it, we can walk across it, things are going to be all right. So try to manage yourself that way. All right. Other things. All right. There we go. Other things. One, what should be the bluff up front?
Whoever favors.
Remember, everything is a bluff, and everything you give behind that should support it. Now, civil considerations. All right, what should we take into consideration? Civil considerations.
Things like I did, I'll give you an aspect of population demographics. Not just that, like if they're like farmers and stuff, like that's their economic drivers. We're just gonna scratch their.
Okay, what's the very first thing you should highlight? Who favors? Who's your favorite? Why is your favorite? The bluff and support. The information will be there. Now, what do we use to describe civil considerations? ASCO. What is ASCO? Yes, the mumble of what just was said. Alright, so what is the A?
Areas.
S?
Structure.
C?
Capabilities.
O?
Organization.
P?
People.
P?
Events.
I got you, that was not even, it was an OPP reference. Alright. And then E?
Events.
Alright, hey, it probably should sound like when we're talking civil considerations, and you go civil considerations favor X, and then it should probably go A, area. What do we have? S, structures. What do we have? Alright, be very, very cut and dry with me, guys. Alright, because if you can show that you have an understanding, thoughtful understanding, that's what we're looking for. Now, flip side of that, please don't bullshit this. We know the scenario enough that you can bullshit your way through it, we're going to catch it. Right. The information that's provided to you is going to be very cut and dry. So if you go in, what's the bluff? Why is it the bluff? Here's ASCO. Make sure you guys hit those things. It says it clear, black and white text, plain language for your rubric, right? So you're worried about what it is you need to read, look out the rubric, and then take a look at it. All right? Let's see here. Civil considerations. Oh, next page. All right. Student accurately describes significant impacts of civil considerations on friendly and threat operations. The A scope explanation was free of error and focused on significant issues that can affect the operations. Cut and dry. What are we looking for? Cut and dry. Right?
What do you think is,
So, how many of you went through that individual B recently? Okay, so you know how in your last message I had to blow up the bridge? Well, if you have your blue forces go left and use that left-hand bridge, your area you're going into is BFB. So think of it like that. That city north of the bridge, that was all Novi. So think of the areas kind of like that. If you get more into the more Afghanistan perspective, you're thinking out of religious sectors, political districts, things like that.
Alright, so that is a very practical way to think of it, which is really good, and that keeps it really cut and dry. I recommend thinking of it that way. Alright, here's the doctrinal way. Alright, area of instructions, things like buildings, blueprints, which is really weird. Camps, forts, streets, street patterns, urban patterns, things like that. Alright. Where are the people? Where are they operating? What are they operating in? Alright. Capabilities. Alright. What do they have? What are the resources? What do they have that can help support their operations? Organizations, people, and events. Alright. So this specific organization is conducting a rally at this time at this place. How is that going to affect our operations? Alright. Does that make sense to you guys? So anybody confused on that? All right. Weather. First recommendation, don't blow by it. No pun intended. All right. Remember to brief weather. All right. So it's one of those easy things to overlook and forget. Again, along with the theme of briefing, what should we hit first? Yeah, weather favored. And then why? Alright, so if you guys look at your test packets and rubrics, it'll tell you exactly what we're looking for, right? So we incorporate these things. Right? The weather will be provided to you. It is for you to decipher the weather, figure out how it is going to affect your operation. Right? The other piece, alright, this is something that people often overlook. We brief weather up front, and then it becomes very important at the end of step 4. Why? IC. Alright, so again, something to think about in the back of your head is when we go back and we start talking our ICM and our ICSM, so our information collection matrix, and our information collection synchronization matrix, we need to think about when we're phasing and timing our collection, how is our weather impacting it? So you come up on the weather slide in front and you tell me weather favors the attacking force. Example, time of attack is probably going to be 05 on X date. 05 on X date is probably going to be H hour, right? So when I go and I plan my ICSM, and I say that shadow is going to collect at H minus 24, then I think through the planning, look at my weather and go, if H hour is this time on this date, the previous 24, all of these factors come into play, so shadow can't fly. Do I have a feasible collection plan? No.
So, would you still task them to fly? 'Cause the reality is weather is finicky, and why wouldn't you still task that asset to have them be postured to launch but not hinge your entire collection?
You can task. All right, but what's probably more feasible? Scouts.
Scouts, man.
Scouts. Couldn't tell. Couldn't tell you were a scout, Mr. Beverly. All right. But here's where don't fall into the thinking trap. All right. Yes. In theory, as an S2, as a MICCC commander, I can task every single one of the assets that can feasibly conduct the mission. I can task them, and we just go through the pecking order of right. Who's up? Who's up? Who's up? We do that. What I want you guys to do is think through it. So if it's raining, give me 1 second. If it's raining, why don't I just task my scouts to conduct the operation, save the flight hours, right? Because we got to think about crew rest for the shadow. We got to have 8 hours, and save that 8-hour block for another time where it can be a little bit more conducive to our operations. Right. Yes, ma'am.
For the weather side, we're not expected to brief the chart, correct? We're just giving you a summary and the bluff,
So
correct?
you guys are going to create your own chart based off the information.
But we don't have to say on this day at this time, this asset's affected because of this weather. It's, they can read the chart and we just.
I want you to make sense. Highlight. So do exactly like we do the commander, right? So if I put that up, right? Do you think it makes sense to tell my commander hour by hour, day by day, every effect on the weather? No. What does the commander see first? Red. See red, red equals dead. Brief the red. In theory, do that, right? If there's something that stands out that is going to hinder the operation, tell us about it. All right? We could probably make the assumption that if there is something not drawn in that box, it's probably considered green. All right? Here's my other recommendations. I've seen it. You guys are going to have your map markers in there. You don't have to color your weather slide red, yellow, and green because it bleeds through the rest of your test package. All right. Yes, sir.
So the weather also dictates the most favorable day. So do we only focus on that day? If I said the 10th is the most advantageous day for the enemy to launch an attack, these are the effects of that day. Also, if they attack on other days, these are also going to be effects, or is it zero?
Give me the why. If you're going to tell me that the 10th is the recommended day for time of attack, here's why, and here's why the other days are not conducive for it. Frame it. All right. Remember, everything is about framing. If you leave something, if you leave yourself open to questions about anything else, trust me, we're going to ask questions. All right. And if we ask questions and you start tap dancing around, our pen is going to go from like the go section to a little bit more of a no-go section because we're starting to figure out you don't have an understanding of what's going on.
So let's say like Mark does say, hey, the enemy's most likely to attack on 10th, but it's favorable to them. Does everything have to be based off that, even if the orders is something else? That makes sense. So like, does his IC plan then have to be 8 hours?
Based off these dates can change in the order based off of it, right? I always refer back to the D-Day jumps, right? What's the famous line?
No jump today.
No jump today. Right? The order says it's going to be executed on this day. It came up, it was raining over the beaches, couldn't execute. Time sheet.
As long as it's feasible and we can move
Yep.
that.
Like if you tell me the recommended time of attack is on the 10th, and then all of a sudden I see everything is planned for the 1st, we're going to go back and we're going to repack a little bit about why, right? You just open yourself a little bit more questions. I'm not saying it's wrong, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper into how you got to the yes, sir.
My question is quick. Are we going to get one of those reference guides like what's on the other slide? And are we going to get the wind and knots, like on the scenario?
Yeah, you're the wind and knots.
Is it knots or miles per hour? Do you remember, Nelson?
Don't remember off my head.
Most of
I'm
them-
changing soon, so.
Most of the scenarios are miles per hour, but if I don't have my phone and Google that, I'm not going to read that. Just wing it.
Again, don't overthink it.
Alright.
It's 1.15.
But you will have the references.
Kid has to do that.
All right. Any other questions in reference to weather? Bluff, lose its favor, recommend time of attack. All right. So I know the test packet's kind of weird. It's actually probably something we'll look at, Nelson, is it tells you to write the summary, and then it gives like the last thing at the end of the slide. It says like basically what's the bluff. Do it in reverse order. Give us the bluff, and then give us the summary. Probably something I'll look at.
The one thing that I double down on with Captain JR just saying, fast DC is the #1 recycler of any class for people who are fail. So whenever you're creating a product, whenever you're doing a bluff, make sure that you're checking off whether you're feasible, acceptable, suitable, distinguishable, complete.
So, can't tell you who. Let's say let's say I had 3 people that didn't make the cut today. Rough example. I will tell you that every single person that didn't make the cut was a fast DC violation. Fast DC screening criteria. Feasible, acceptable, suitable, distinguishable. And that is not just for your courses of action. It's included in every step.
What if you can argue it and like give clear examples of it working? Like for example, for us, we tried using an integrated attack and they told us we couldn't because the battalion couldn't attack a brigade. But I can give you rotational NTC examples where we do it.
So we're not teaching you TTPs, we're teaching you baseline doctrine.
Okay.
So most of the fast DC violations are kind of non-arguable because they're pretty self-evident. So perfect example, right? What is an intelligence handover line?
It's where division is collecting and you're not. So the higher is collecting over you.
Right? So yeah, so it's, if we go back to operational framework, deep close security, right? Intelligence handover line is where brigades collection stops, and that's where division has a deep fight. So, fast DC violation. If you brief me something like the Shadow is going to collect on an NAI in division's collection area past the IHL, that's an automatic fast DC violation, right? Because it's not feasible, acceptable. It's basically division said we're not allowed to do it. So why brief it? So you got to make sure you guys are thorough in those small little details. All right. How far can a scout collect on a screen line? Perfect line of sight.
And what they brought with them, but you're right.
10
Fucking make it out, like, yeah.
10 to 15 kilometers using LRAS.
Yeah.
So if I tell you that the U.S. screen line is at this location, and you brief me an NAI that's 30 kilometers away, is that feasible?
And LRASs can see 30 kilometers.
Yeah, but there's line of sight. They won't tell you specifically what's out there, but they can tell you.
It's not my LRAS period.
Now,
It can see 30
perfect day. Now,
LRAS can see 30 kilometers.
where in the world do you find the most flattest piece of terrain and ever conduct an operation on a perfect day?
Fort Bliss, Texas.
Port Irwin, Bliss.
Port Irwin, Bliss.
Not true.
You're out T-Ford, you can see 36 out.
We couldn't possibly identify. It was just,
But you can still see an enemy coming.
yeah, but you couldn't tell me if that was a tank or.
But that wouldn't matter.
So, hey, Mr. Penny, you just hit it right there. What'd you say?
10 to 15.
So, yes, so like at NTC, whenever I get messages from the scouts, they could see dust clouds out to 30 kilometers away, but they could not positively identify what it was.
Good.
So that's all I would get was just a dust cloud.
But knowing that there isn't any friendly out there, you can assess as an S2 that that's probably enemy.
I can
So,
assess that
so
it's a
pause
dust
there.
cloud.
Hey, loving this.
Check it out, Titus. Ed. Bring it back in. Alright? I can make the assessment that it's enemy. That's an easy assessment. But am I answering PIR?
No.
No. Because is my PIR, is the enemy out there?
Yes.
First off, if you put that as your PIR, I'm gonna fucking no-go you off the bat. Right? But what kind of PIR am I looking to answer? Something more specific.
Composition.
Probably, hey,
Posture.
are those two S-19s? Can I tell at 30 kilometers away with an LRAS two S-19s? No. So then it goes back to, is that feasible? Because your collection is doing what?
Answering PRS.
Collection, yes. Answering PIRs.
But just to bring it back into, is it feasible, right? You already briefed, by this point, you've already briefed your observation of fields of fire, right?
Complete.
So now, when you're talking about, can this NAI see that, or whatever, you already answered the question whether it can or can't. You already told me in phase 1, or in step 1 of IPD, that your observation from this baseline to that baseline is out to 5 kilometers because of wood terrain, IV lines, or whatever. Then obviously, that applies to your forces as well as scanning forces, right? So just consider it as a holistic approach, right?
So good rule of thumb, keep it at 10. Is that what you're telling us?
This terrain.
Scouts, 10. There you go, guys.
Check it out. Here's where you get the answer, guys. You guys have this wonderful piece of doctrine, a manual that I issued you called the WEG. The WEG is going to give you capabilities and limitations of equipment. And then you have to apply it. That's why we do terrain analysis and we talk specifically about observation in fields of fire. All right? Those things have to mesh. All right? So if you tell me like there's a giant mountain in the middle up the central corridor, all right, and then you tell tell me the scouts are gonna be sitting on the reverse slope of that mountain, but they're gonna look 30 kilometers out, I'm gonna call BS on them. Right? Because, yeah, theoretically, our systems have the capability, but we're on the reverse slope of the mountain, so we're just staring at the side of a mountain. Right? It's like being in Bagram, you're just staring at all the fucking mountains all over the place, right? You can't really see past them until you climb up on them, and then you're on the opposite slope. Don't, check it out, guys. I'm going to give you a good piece of advice I gave in the last class when they were doing their study halls. Do not overcomplicate this. All right? Do not overcomplicate the process. Keep it simple. Keep it FAST-DC compliant. Tell the story of what the enemy is going to do. All right? I'm sure you guys have already figured out the enemy is going to do 2 types of operations. What do you think they're going to be?
Integrated first
Yeah,
attack.
I know how the Captain Network works.
CNN. Defense.
Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. Remember the doctrine. The great thing about it is you have the doctrine there with you. All right? Show up with all the books. Nerd out. Nobody's going to judge you. You want a PCS from this fucking place. I get it. Bring the doctrine with you. All right? If you don't know how to read a map, I gave you a book for that too. Bring it. Bring it all. Be like JR. Be specialist JR. Bring a duffel bag everywhere with shit in it. And you can't be wrong. And your platoon sergeant won't yell at you because you literally brought everything everywhere. All right? Bring it all with you guys because you guys can use anything that is in those manuals that I issued you that is authorized for you to bring in. All right? Use it. Figure out what the enemy's going to do. Keep it simple. All right? Now, ACA's good. Good. Now, so we hit step 1 through step 2. All right, so I wrote down a couple of time hacks. All right, these are not the way you have to do it, but it'll give you a frame of reference on how to manage your time. All right, so you guys all have the rubric. All right, so this is based off the brief in 30 minutes. 30 minutes, 11 seconds. From the beginning of the brief to completion of area of interest, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And that was thorough brief. All right, so that is from start of, hi, my name is Captain so-and-so. This is an unclassified brief. I'm going to brief you on these things. To completion of area of interest, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And that was hitting everything that they needed to hit based on the rubric. All right. From there to completion of civil considerations, 6 minutes. This is a running clock. Okay. Clock don't stop.
So 3:15 to 6.
Yep. From completion of the first threat tip. Yep. From the completion of the first threat tip, 11 minutes, 2 seconds.
I'm sorry, say that again, please.
To completion of the first threat tip, 11 minutes, 2 seconds. To completion of the first course of action. So this individual chose to go threat tip 1 and course of action 1. That is a okay method. All right. They completed that in 19 minutes. This is a running clock. Switching back to threat tip 2 from 19 minutes. They started threat tip 2. They completed that in 21 minutes and 5 seconds.
21:15.
21:05.
No.
From the threat temp to COA 2, they completed COA 2 in 26 minutes. From the end of COA 2 into all of their IC, they completed IC in 29 minutes and 49 seconds. And then to conclusion, 30:11. Right, I'm not saying that that is the standard, guys. Right, use that as a frame of reference on how you should manage your time. Right. So if I'm saying that that's probably the fastest I've seen and the most complete brief, use it as your minimum. All right, and then base it off of you have 45 minutes. look, doesn't look bad if you're briefing and it takes you all 45 minutes, or if you complete it in 30 minutes. As long as you hit everything that's on the rubric. That's why we gave it to you guys early. You have time to hit it. All right? I'm gonna tell you this, you have to war game internally. How are you gonna spend the calories on digesting this stuff? All right? Do not neglect any portion of this test.
From your guys' perspective as graders, is that flow better going from threat temp 1 to COA 1 versus threat temp 1 and 2 to COA 1 and 2?
I saw students do it pretty well both ways. You can either do both threat temps first and then both set temps, or you can do go one threat, go one set. But whatever you feel more comfortable with, either way is gonna be fine.
I'd say if you think you're gonna have a problem transitioning the types of operations, stick to threat temp and COA, threat temp and COA. If that's not gonna bother you, shoot your preference, man. Just tell us what you got. Yes, ma'am.
So you're gonna do threat temp, sys temp, COA, and then threat temp.
You should temp as your COA.
You okay, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So yes.
So the answer to your question is yes.
Okay, and I add something to that. So one of the things that I've seen that benefits you if you go threat temp COA, is that in your packet you fill out, it has all of that verbiage that you're supposed to say when you fill it out. And if you go threat temp, sys temp, you leave yourself open to forgetting something, or if you're gonna try to brief by exception, you're leaving yourself open to miss things. One of the things I like to see when you say, okay, I'm gonna cover this threat temp, some students don't even say this is a dispersed attack, this is an integrated attack, we're facing X unit or Y unit, and that's stuff that's covered in those COA statements when you're doing your sit temp. So if you go threat temp COA, you have the framework available, if that works for you.
Anything that you saw today that you wanna?
No, like I said, I saw students do it successfully both ways. Me personally, I would personally brief it threat temp to COA, and then shift gears, because then you're not bouncing back and forth between two different entity
And then you're
sources.
like flipping overlays.
So it's not even necessarily flipping overlays, but what you're doing is now you're flipping through pages and you're throwing off your flow, right? The transitions in the brief from step to step are what kind of defines how your flow is gonna go. All right. Guess what? You guys aren't gonna brief anybody you haven't seen in this building before. All right. Point blank period. No repercussions. Nobody's gonna yell at you. Nobody's gonna hit you with a sabo round. We say all that for when you graduate, you get your battalion commander. That's their job. Our job is to get you prepared to just come in and brief. All right? Or if you think like JR, you brief to get it over with, you can have your sangria earlier, because that's all you're gonna do that day. Right? Hey, you're gonna brief your exam. I'm gonna tell you to go home. I'm gonna tell you not to get in trouble. And if you brief on the first day, you don't show up the second day. That's like incentive right